Pita from Key West, Florida. Albert, how you doing?
I'm doing great, brother.
We're going to talk a little bit about Key West fishing, how Key West was back in the days, how you started fishing. How did that all start? I'm sure you were young.
My grandfather and my uncle would take me out. They would line another mangrove up with it, and they hit that shelf every time. And that was their GPS.
That was a GPS,
That was a GPS.
Talking about GPS, we're going to talk about heading to the Marquesas Keys.
Pescando en los cayos, eso es lo que quiero. Con el capitán que se llama Diego, yo no me quejo. Puedes ir a pescar rubia, cherna y colorado. Diego es un gran capitán, del mar está enamorado. Pescando en los cayos con el capitán Diego, alegría del amor. Con él disfrutaremos cada semana especial, entretenimiento.
Pescando los Cayos traído ustedes por Florida Fish and Wildlife, Sunshine Gasoline, Mr. Glass Windows and Doors, su dealer completo, Gus Machado Ford, Mi Vestuario FITK Made in USA, Mercury Marine, Mako Boats, Bass Pro Shops y Cabela. Su aventura empieza aquí.
I'm just a bottle sitting on a discount rack. My hometown's in Tennessee. My favorite color's black. I caught your eye soon as you walked into this store. I've seen that, been through hell 1,000 times before. You're gonna walk right up this aisle, you won't even check my tag. Gonna carry me to the counter, wrap me in a paper bag. But I'm not your friend, I'm not your
Captain Armani, third generation punk or seventh? Seventh. Because I tell you what, we got some generations here. Looking forward to fishing today and spending some time with these two. They're just catching up. These guys grew up together. They went to school together. They hadn't seen each other in about 20 years.
And the cool thing about today is going to be the history and the stories shared. You know, not too often you get to sit with two old-time conchs and listen to all the old stories. And you see them up there now. We just left the boat ramp and they can't stop telling stories to each other. This is my type of fishing day.
You're right. This is going to be called the Three Conch Show. Not the two conchs, the three conchs. We're going west, folks. So hold on tight. We're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about some history. It's going to be a fabulous show.
This feeling that I never can replace, without the sand and the tan and the sun to light up my face. When I'm not near, it's like the world ain't clear. There's a fog clouding up my brain. So girl, write it down, I'm telling you now, I ain't joking. Bury me inside the ocean. Some folks I know now are gonna call me crazy. Took me a long time to figure out, but baby, it's what made me, it's what saved me.
La mañana como normal empieza con carnada viva. Hay que tener carnada viva para pescar con los concos, ya que la sardina era primordial. Yo sé que esta pesca le va a traer muchas memorias a Alberto. This brings back memories, Pita. Offshore angler, I love that net. 1.5 pounds per foot.
And 3/16.
3/16. That's a mahua net there. But we use them for pilchard down here. On a special day today, we decided to head west towards the Marquesas Keys, where these three conchs and all the conchs in general used to fish back in the days. First by deploying the chum, in this case tournament chum, and let it work its magic in these magical waters of the Marquesas Keys.
What do you see when life gets you low? Where do you go? When you're tired of the night, what do you need?
Aquí mimito, este es pesquero aquí, a ver. Aquí. Hace años que no vengo, pero yo no me equivoco. Aquí estamos. Ahora yo pruebo, tengo otra prueba y después ya sabemos si. Mira, ven.
Here we are in the Marquesas area. This spot that Wayne brought us to. He says there's some nice fish here. Let's see if he makes a believer out of us. What do you think about that, Albert?
Yeah. Déjame ver si estamos aquí. Aquí es pesquero. Aquí, tira ahí, coja.
You find them, I'll catch them.
Playas escondidas, suavizadas por siglos de olas. Capturas de trofeos y pequeñas curiosidades. La puesta de sol perfecta después de un día perfecto. Esperando a ser descubiertos. Listos para hacerte sentir vivo. Los motores de Mercury están hechos para explorar. Tú también. Toma el mando.
Hay varios componentes básicos para pescar, como avíos, cañas y carretes, una buena carnada y un buen sonar que marque fondo y pez. Pero un buen engo de calidad es primordial para activar la picada. Tournament Master Chum solo usa ingredientes frescos, usando 100% carnada Menhaden, cual es inmediatamente refrigerada y procesada el mismo día. Esto hace que la calidad del engo sea más efectivo y duradero, y es por eso que Tournament Master Chum es superior. Pruébenlo y verán la calidad. Sabroso hasta el último buchito. Tournament Master Chum.
What do you remember most about Key West, fishing those days? I mean, your whole family from Key West.
Right here, we go out to American shoals and they hit the patches. And the first hour, they catch 100-pound jewfish. They were happy for the rest of the day.
I'm sure this was back, 50 years ago?
Yeah, this is back in the 60s. And we used to rent a boat, Boca Chica Road. It's called Steve's Bait Camp, right there at the bridge. And it was, we used to go there during the week to tell Steve, he was a friend of my grandfather's, and we go there and the boat would be sitting on the bottom, it'd be full of water.
Right.
He said, about a week and a half it dry for you and everything. So for $3, we rented that boat. My grandfather had a 7.5 horsepower Evinrude, 1950 something, and we put that on there. We go out with a gallon of gas or whatever. And by noon we had all the fish. The boat had the seat was a live well, and that was my seat. But Dad caught 11 jewfish and 13 trips out of this one place of Boca Chica. He said there's a shelf there, and there was no navigation. The way they navigated was the towers, and they would line after they could see the second tower, they would line another mangrove up with it, and they hit that shelf every time. And that was their GPS. My grandfather, apparently back in the 30s, I was told, had one of the only cast nets. Huh. He made them by hand.
By hand.
He made the cast nets, and then
wow.
Him and his friends would come over. He'd make cast nets for him.
Albert, in talking about cast nets, I remember when I first moved to Key West, it's going to be now 37, 38 years. I remember meeting Popeye. So I'm sure your uncle that built cast nets was good friends with Popeye.
Wood Kong home, I don't even think it had paint on it.
Yeah.
And you go in the backyard, it was all sand. And that's where he used to demonstrate or whatever.
He showed me how to throw a cast net there.
Yes.
My first cast net I bought from him.
You go in there and he's, what's that cooking on the stove? He was cooking the lead to make the sinkers for the cast net. He had a gas stove. That's how he used to make the sinkers.
Incredible. Yeah, the 3/16, that's what, an offshore angler, I love the net I got. It's 1 pound per foot.
Yes.
And out of all the nets I've had before, usually you buy them, it's 1.5 pounds.
Yes. And
they're heavy. After a while, they sink quick. They're great for deep water, but that 3/16 with 1 pound per foot that I pick up now from Bass Pro Shops, offshore angler, I love, and it reminds me of Popeye's nets.
That's what I'm using, offshore angler, up there on the East Coast, right off my dock.
You're ready to go, huh? Listen, a Cuban yo-yo. Let's get some of that bait out.
barco. Ahí dije que había pescado.
We're gonna let this guy go. He'd be a keeper, but it's not grouper season.
Cada persona con su razón, casa es donde va el corazón. Puede ser el viento, puede ser el barro, dice de tu abuelo que huele a cigarro. No sé mucho, pero sin embargo, la casa es donde va, la casa es donde va el corazón. La casa es donde va el corazón. Donde va el corazón.
Qué bonitos son los colores esos de lane snappers. Mira pues, sirven para tallar un cuadro de esos de lane snappers.
Este lo vamos a soltar. This one we're gonna let him go. It's not grouper season and he's 10 inches too short. Okay. It's gonna be the first one's gonna be a red grouper, Wayne. Tirijala. Chinna colorada.
If it swims, I can catch it. Chenita. Ahí va. Isabela Canal, voy a usarlo otra vez. Mira para eso. La carnada. Vamos a coger el otro pescado. Ahí, ahora yo le meto el anzuelo así otra vez de nuevo.
What does that remind you of?
Eso no se encoge en el sartén, eso tú pones filete ahí en la grasa, muchachos, se queda derechito ahí. Tremendo pescadito.
Your first lane snappers caught in these waters.
Las vías aéreas para los lane snappers sí tienen regulaciones. Hablemos con el oficial Reynolds del FWC sobre estas regulaciones.
Let's talk about the lane snapper. In Florida, whether you're fishing in the Gulf or in the Atlantic, it's still going to be the same size limit of 8 inches minimum length. However, your bag limits will be different. In the Atlantic, it's 10, and to stay up to date with regulations, make sure to pick one up at your local Bass Pro or visit our website at myfwc.com.
Fish on, grouper. Can't even smell that. It'd be a nice size grouper.
Eso lo que es bueno con arroz blanco y frijoles. Tostones ahí al lado, muchachos.
There was no GPS back then, Albert. You know, did you fish the Marquesas? How'd you get back there?
The biggest motor back like in the 70s was like a 115 and 135 Evinrude. That was a big motor. Then Mercury came out with a 150. That was a big thing.
That was a big thing.
Yeah,
Mercury came
That
out
was
with
a big
150.
motor. Now these motors now is as big as a Volkswagen, 600 horsepower.
Incredible. You cross. That's why nowadays folks are going to Pulley Ridge. They're going to well, the end of the bar from Key West is nothing but a hip stop from them.
Yes.
Well, back then that was a ride.
Yes. Oh yeah. It was. It was an adventure.
It was an adventure.
It's like going to Tortugas. That was an adventure. And usually the boats burn so much gas, you had to have somebody take some gas over there for you so you could fill up when you get there to get back.
Luckily, gas back then was probably 25 cents a gallon, right?
But both Grand Channel, Marquesas, we used to fish a place. Patricia's Target was right off of the Marquesas, and the military used to bomb that.
Oh.
And it was still, I believe, a gun turret on it. We used to fish around there. I caught, when I was a junior angler back then. We had a junior anglers club. It was a freshman in high school, and I won the fishing tournament that year. I caught a 17-pound barracuda on fly.
On fly?
By Patricia's Target on a fly rod that I made. I used to make custom rods.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That explains why Albert takes his time bringing that fish in. He doesn't hurry unless there's a shark around, I'm sure. Old folks used to use that green line.
My dad and my grandfather and my uncle, even before they got the Lapita Cuban yo-yo, they had a stick, a dowel, and they had this green, I forgot what brand it was, Met, they get it from Miami, but it was a twine green, and they I could never get it on that, like they winded it on that stick. I mean, they like a clock, but I could never get it like you know. And you'd be fishing, all of a sudden that thing starts spinning and jumping around on the boat. and steel leader.
Oh, they used to use steel leader rod.
Steel leader. My dad had them all made up with his tackle box there with a little bungee-like, and steel leader, sinker, and a swivel.
And even for yellowtail snapper, they would use that. For lane snappers, they would use steel leaders.
They would use steel leaders on everything.
On everything. That goes to show you.
And the fish would bite. I mean, now they got fluorocarbon, and the fish can't see it. I guess the fish didn't care back then.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But there was a lot more fish back then, Albert. I think, here you were talking earlier about the area where I usually fish, where I ran charters for years. I noticed back then, this was only 34 years ago, there was a lot more yellowtails back there.
Yes.
So I can imagine going back another 25 years before that. Because you started fishing when you were maybe 14, 15?
Oh, I have a picture of me when I was, I think, 6 with a fishing rod on my
hand. So we're going back 60 something years.
My dad would take me to some docks and we'd fish. But when we rented that boat on Boca Chica Road, we'd go out and there was fans. Not even, you didn't even pass the island yet, and it might have been 15 feet of water, and you could see the snappers. So one day my dad said, let's go get some fresh bait. We go by the mangroves, and he had the nylon cast net that he made. His dad used to make cast, my grandfather used to make cast net, and he just kind of they were so thick, he just lobbed it like that over the boat and could hardly lift the net. It was Spanish sardines.
They're good bait.
Yeah.
They're the best bait you could have, still nowadays.
Yes. We'd go right there, we'd anchor that boat, and you could just see the fish you wanted to catch. There were so many snappers. Ooh, nice guy.
You're getting Albert on the swing here.
Never
touching that hand line.
It's a nice lane there. Nice lane.
Behind one.
Garcia's Fish Taco.
Importante, había jaiba siempre mantenerla así, agua fría, hielo frío para que mantienen durita. Qué cosa más linda. Esto va a pasar rica.
Definitely.
It's a big one. Oh, big yellowtail. Cabeza, venga para acá. Ella viene para acá. Vamos a ver. No te apures. Que tú vas a entrar para acá.
Sí, había pescado aquí.
Vamos a ver lo que pesqué. No.
Yo. Huevo. El pescadito más bonito. De eso yo hago una sopa de pescado de esto que queda increíble. That's good. That one right there is perfect for fish tacos.
That's good. This feels good. Back in the old days.
And my mother, if bought her gray snappers, she'd put those outside. Give me the lane snapper, whatever. But gray snappers she wouldn't eat.
Miren qué cosa más linda. Pobreta. Mangrove snapper.
Este anzuelo lo encontré el otro día en el patio allí en la casa de mi papá. Y le puse esto. Mira qué clase de anzuelo es eso. Eso es hecho a mano.
Bueno, mi gente, como han cambiado los tiempos, claro que sí, ya no hay que hacer anzuelos como el del tío de Wayne, que ese anzuelo posiblemente tenga 50, 60 años. Aquí en Bass Pro Shops y Cabeles usted encuentra anzuelos de todos estilos, como los J-Hooks número 1, que son especialmente buenos para la rabirrubia, la pesca de la rabirrubia, también la cubereta con sardinita, hasta con pinfish, trabaja muy bien. También Offshore Angler les ofrece todo tipo de anzuelos circular, circular hooks, que tienen que usarlo en el Golfo. Cuando pesquen en el Golfo de América, tienen que usar este anzuelo. No solo es recomendado, pero es la ley. Cuando pesquen en el Golfo de América, tienen que usar este tipo de anzuelos circulares.
Soy Sam de Bass Pro Shop. No se olvide que si compran su línea, aquí en Bass Pro Shop se la podemos poner gratis.
Together is about a little kitchen table and a little elbow grease. Together is about a shelf in the back of Dad's shop. Together is about family. And it's about all the memories that lie ahead. Start your adventure with the experience, selection, and wonder you can only find at Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
Key West, Florida is magical,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I was fortunate to move down here when I for my fire department job, which I served 32 years in the firehouse. And thanks to that, you know, I was able to explore the fishing in the fabulous Florida Keys, because I was a Miami boy. Key West was like, what am I going there for?
Fishing's in your blood.
Fishing's
in
in my
your
blood.
heart.
I remember pulling up to Monroe Marina, and I came with my dive tanks. I was a Miami Aquarium diver. This is 1980,
Oh, wow.
88. And I came with tanks in my 20-foot Mako. And I don't tell that many people this story. And right away, at the end of the day, I would see Jose Wahabi pulling in,
Yeah.
Paul Marchand, Trossett coming into Monroe with all these Fargos, mutton snappers, and big yellowtails, and big grouper, blacks, reds. I'm like, man, I'm doing the wrong thing here. I go, yeah, I love underwater, but these guys are coming. There was no limit on some of these fish.
Oh yeah, we didn't have limits, sizes. We knew when to stop. We
Right.
just wanted fish to eat. And,
You know, those memories got to hit you every once in a while. You know, I know you're living in the East Coast now. Those memories have to
oh yeah,
come back often.
It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet because I used to ride around the island on my bicycle with a fishing pole or a hand line and fish over there right in Garrison Bight. Houseboat Road, there was a bunch of docks there. We would go there. My dad would we'd catch snappers
Right.
around the island, but there wasn't much going on on the island back then.
It was a sleepy town.
It was like Wayne said, we had the Key Westers and the Conks, like the Hatfield and the McCoys.
The Hatfield and McCoys. And really, like I said, it was a sleepy town. It was a quiet town.
Everybody was friendly, but if we caught 100-pound jewfish, we'd cut it up, take what we want, ate what we want, and gave the rest away.
Yeah.
Because we knew the next weekend we could do the same
We
thing.
could do the same thing.
How white they are. They're sitting on that sand here. We're catching them just off a wreck here, just off the Marquesas. Good fish, good to eat.
Funny you should ask, Al. I'd say, oh, there's something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care.
When I was younger, I'd go through the trailer parks with all the grunts and stuff that we had caught, and the Haitians would buy all the fish. And man, I tell you what, they turn a grunt down, but they love the blue runners. They'll take the blue runner over the grunt any day.
My father would get the blue runners and we fillet them and then cut the bloodline out. And you know, fresh like that, we'd eat them. De muchachito, las primeras memorias que yo tengo era yendo a pescar con mi tío, mi papá. Mi padre siempre cogía barquitos de esos chiquiticos, los arreglaba y salíamos a pescar. Mi tío era capitero de barco, él hacía barco de madera y él hizo un barco de 36 pies y íbamos a pescar con ese barco. Después, cuando ya más grandecito, con amigos, íbamos a lanchitas que hacíamos en el patio, metíamos un motorcito y íbamos a pescar ahí, delante de la playa. Por eso el otro día con Alberto me recordé de esas memorias. Yo hacía 20 años o más que yo no lo veía a él. Y que más nunca me voy a olvidar de eso, pescando las Marquesas. Y también me acuerdo de un amigo mío que hace poco que falleció, Corey McIntosh, que tremendo pescador. Él era el mejor que había pescando en Northwest Channel, ahí afuera de Key West. Siempre traía pescado, tremendo pescador, tremendo persona. Hay veces que me pongo a pensar de las veces que fuimos yo y él en el mismo barco que tengo ahora, la última vez que fuimos, el año pasado. Entonces, por eso siempre cuando uno sale a pescar con amigos, sale a pescar con familia, son unos tiempos, unas memorias que más nunca se olvida nadie en eso. Aquí en este pesquero siempre están, muerden los caballerotes, de todo. Mira qué pescadito más lindo.
When hurricanes hit, ordinary windows just won't cut it. Our impact-proof doors and windows are tested to withstand the strongest storms, keeping your home or business safe and secure. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest in protection today.
Sunshine Marine Distributors les ofrecen entrega de combustibles de octanaje normales y Rec 90 para uso marino. También se le ofrece petróleo para embarcaciones comerciales como party boats, langosteros y camaroneros. Sunshine Marine Distributors sirven a todos los cayos de la Florida, Dade y Broward County. Facilicen sus preparaciones para su próxima aventura en el mar. Llamen a Sunshine Marine Fuel Distributors y será servido en su residencia o establecimiento comercial.
Compre un camión nuevo y ahorre más de $10,000 solo en Ghost Machado Ford en Hialeah.
That was a good one.
The old conchs just wanted to go out and catch fish so they could feed their family. You know, nothing too elaborate. They kept their rig simple, cost-effective, and they caught fish, you know, and they know how to do it. And you see Wayne and Albert, they got their tricks on their yo-yos, man. They were raking them in today. I wanted to take them out west, go off the Marquesas and tie up off of one of my favorite little beaches there and make some fresh fish tacos and made for a real special trip. Going out today, we wanted to kind of go back to old times and keep it simple. We just wanted to go out and catch a few fish to cook. And, you know, lanes, yellowtail, bottom fish like grouper and mangrove snapper.
Another fish taco.
Another fish taco. Nice.
Mordiendo como viajaiba.
Viajaiba, sí. Rápido, te tumba la carne.
Don't feel too big, but let's see. Oh, yellowtail. Oh, he's just the right size.
Something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane.
Bueno, mi gente, hablando de Popeyes, aquí fue donde yo aprendí a tirar raya con este señor hace unos 35 años. Y ya que estamos hablando de eso, quería visitar su casa, aquí en Cary Lane, en Cayo Hueso. Más o menos me acuerdo cómo llegar aquí. Yo sé que esto no va a lucir igual. Wow. Y como dice Alberto, todo era arena la parte de atrás. Quién sabe, ahora en día seguro que es una piscina. Y aquí estamos en el cottage, conocido ahora como el cottage de Popeye. Aquí aprendí yo a tirar raya hace unos 37 años que yo venía aquí. Bueno, primero me mudé para Cayo Hueso y lo conocí a él, era un señor mayor ya, con unos brazos enormes, bien chiquiticos. Y atrás de esta casa, todo era arena y tiramos la tarraya. Entonces le compraba la tarraya y él te enseñaba a tirar la tarraya. Y tarraya hechas a mano. Yo me la llevaba después para el cuartel de bomberos y practicaba allá. Pero cada rato le caía Popeye por aquí. Wow. Gran memorias. Seguimos con la pesca, con los concos. Macarelita. Esta es otra macarela. Bueno. Vara para Puerto Vara. Vamos a echar a prender el jamito nuevo de Bass Pro Shops.
Dale para acá. Se me fue todo. Se fue, se ganó el día.
Wow, cosa más linda. Y esta va para la java. La segunda.
One thing when you get old like me, you don't have to have a fishing license anymore. I don't have to have a fishing license.
That's right.
I'm old.
I'm George Menard with FWC, and today we're going to cover fishing license. There's two fishing licenses. We have the freshwater and the saltwater fishing license for Florida residents and non-residents. There are two age groups exempt from having a fishing license. That's going to be any youth under the age of 16 or anyone who is over the age of 65. 65 or older do not require a fishing license. FWC also offers a fishing license that is the Gold Sportsman all the way up to the lifetime. So you can get it for 1 year, 5 years, or all the way up to a lifetime, and this will include your freshwater, saltwater fishing, and even your hunting license with a variety of permits. Whatever suits your style, whether that's fishing or hunting, we recommend that you visit myfwc.com so you can see exactly which license will suit you best.
It's only 12:30, but I don't care. You don't care. I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's been many years now since Popeye in Key West, Florida showed me how to throw a cast net. My first days in Key West, Florida, over 38 years ago, he would build those nets, hand stitching them one by one, made out of cotton. These things were fabulous. The way those nets would open was magnificent. You didn't have to put too much effort into them. They would open up perfectly. And the reason why is because they were balanced right. They were balanced perfectly. But the day I discovered offshore angler cast nets, that was it. Offshore angler Ocean Master cast nets offer you two different versions, the premium and the elite. And the difference is the premium is 1 pound per foot. The elite is 1.5 pounds per foot. And these are meant to throw in deep water applications like here in Miami, Florida, on the East Coast where you're looking for the threadfin, the pilchers, where you mark them on the sonar in deeper 10, 12, 20 feet of water, you want to drop down quicker. Also for ballyhoo, it works better. But then again, I like to throw the premium for ballyhoo when I'm throwing a 1/2-inch net. The reason being, it'll sink fast enough and you can throw it a lot more often. 1 pound per foot makes a difference, folks. You can throw this net all day. For glass minnows, I like to use the 3/16. Bass Pro Shops, you can pick from 2 cast nets, the premium and the elite. Shallow water or deep water applications. Visit your local Bass Pro Shops at Cabela's or visit bassproshops.com.
Here at the Sorrow Saloon,
I could pay off my tab, pour myself in a cab and be back.
A little jig head with a piece of cut pinfish. We got enough of a chump slit going now. Now we got our tacos here. Secured them in the Marquesas. Ready for a treat.
Bueno, hicimos la pesca de hoy, cumplimos lo que cumplimos y pescamos lo que pescamos aquí con los concos y yo la he pasado lo mejor, espero que ustedes estén bien. Siempre al coger rumbo este y llegar a esta área de las aguas de las Marquesas, siempre siento un silencio místico al llegar a esta isla. Y pienso que así también se sintió con una gran tranquilidad en el año 1622 el comandante Marqués de Cadereyta al descubrir este cayo, ahora en el Golfo de América, conocido como las Marquesas. Y pensar que hace 4 siglos estas islas fueron embarcadas por unos hombres buscando tesoros y ahí encontraron las Marquesas. Y ahora regresamos a pescar, a cocinar, claro que sí, y a desconectar entre amigos y con ustedes. Así que espero que hayan disfrutado este gran programa con los concos, los 3 concos. Y como esto, les traigo mucho más. Adiós.
Enamorado del mar yo nací. La ra y la y la. La ra y la y la. Canto a mi amor, al cielo azul y a las estrellas, y en el vaivén de mi canción yo canto así. Enamorado del mar yo nací. La ra y la y la. Cuando la tarde se va, qué bonito se queda el amor, porque la novia triste está, pues se va la barquita de su pescador.
I want to make these a little extra special here for my fellow conchs here. Not too often you get 3 conchs on a boat. Little fresh key lime.
voice on the other side of the phone. I hadn't heard it.
So what you think, Albert? How's this for a day in the Marquesas after you've been away for a few years?
Wonderful. First time I ever had tacos on the boat.
Really?
Marquesas Keys.
Tell you what, it don't get better than that. It's a pleasure, man. I'm glad we could get out and do this today.
Catch the fish and eat it too. Wayne.
Yeah.
Problem is, I'm coming back.
No problem, Albert. You ain't got to worry about ever coming back because you got a lot of sand in your shoes from Key West.
Ooh.
There you go. Conco left me one. Look at that. Captain Armani Garcia always put together these great tacos, and I heard these jalapenos are good. Check it out. Visit Outaline Charters, Key West, Florida. Come out and get some of this. Fish on, baby.
What's on the other side of the phone? I hadn't heard it in so damn long.
I think they're enjoying those tacos over there. I'm gonna see if I get a couple bites here before they try and take these too.
Said we never got closure. We're getting old.
Oh yeah.
If you wanna see me again.
We're headed back to Cayo Hueso with the Cayo Huesanos.
Your voice on the other side of the phone. I hadn't heard it in so damn long. So sorry for calling, but lately I've been thinking of you. You said we never got closure. We're getting older. If you wanna see me again, I think it'd be nice. I think it'd be the right thing to do. But girl, if I'm telling the truth, you wouldn't recognize me, wouldn't know who I am. 'Cause the heartbreak was tough, but I picked myself up.
The funny thing about conchs is we're all related one way or the other. You know, you hear these household names, the Penders, the Pitas, the Lowe's, the Garcias. And, you know, it's not too far off that you run into someone that's your cousin on a daily basis, you know? And so we got to share some good old stories and memories. And man, it made for a special trip today. This is one I'll remember from the rest of my life. And I'm sure Wayne and Albert had a great time today. Fresh tacos on the beach. I mean, come on, you can't get better than that.
And if you saw me tonight and looked in my eyes, you might notice on second glance what you left was the boy. Now you're looking at the man